Ian, it was a hard-fought game here in the Highlands. We've come off with a 3-2 defeat. Please sum up your feelings.
Well, one of frustration, disappointment for sure, because it was a game that we had enough chances in to win. And again, we've lost 3 goals, and 2 of them at least were ones that we could have definitely done something about. Our defending from back post situations, again, is a trouble for us, and you know, we work hard on that. We work on set pieces, but at times it's the odd one is letting us down, and twice, one from free play and one from a set piece, has cost us what I think is a great chance of 3 points.
How frustrating is it as a coach when you see that happening? The area of you carry an attacking threat. We did create 2 chances today. Maybe we could have had more than the 2 goals that we scored, but the goals that we conceded seem very, okay, let's not take anything away from a couple of strikes. There were some excellent strikes in there, but defendable is probably
of course they had to finish them, and the first one from Woods was a great strike. George didn't have too many chances with that one. The second one was a header at the back stick from a free kick that we should never get ourselves in that position. It shouldn't be a free header, although he steered it well into the far corner. But again, we isolate not our strongest header with their strongest header, and we should see that early from a set piece. And when we talk about getting ourselves back in early, organising, leadership, and we failed to do that. And then the third goal was obviously one that's come from free play, and we get ourselves in a poor body position to be able to defend that. And it's cost us, because you score 2 goals away from home. A great free kick from Conor Grant on his debut, on his senior debut, to cap a fine display by him. And then the Fraser Kerr header from our own set piece. 4 or 5 chances in that situation. They all seem to fall to Fraser, and we've come away empty-handed, which is a real frustration.
What positives can you take from the game, if any?
Yeah, we can take positives. There was some bright parts of the game where we had the momentum. We didn't capitalise on it. I thought we didn't test their fullbacks as much as what we could have done. And maybe lack of game time from players in those areas that Nathan Thomas and Marvin Johnson, they'll find their feet. They've got to find their feet quick, but they'll be big players for us. Did we test their back four and to turn them and get in behind them? We possibly could have done that a little bit more. And when we had good possession in the middle of the park, I don't think we used it as well as we could have done. So there's stuff to work on, but there's certainly positives that we can go forward, and we'll give ourselves a chance.
I know you will only want to concentrate on Motherwell, but 3 of the bottom 4 lost, including ourselves. Obviously St Mirren were defeated as well. Is that any stroke of comfort for you whatsoever?
No, I think we have got to just worry about ourselves. And if we win enough games of football ourselves, then it doesn't matter what goes on around us. We've got some big games coming up against teams that are around us, and we've got to make sure that we win those key battles. And by hook or by crook, you have to find a way of winning games of football. And if that's horrible and not very nice to watch, because you've had to go and scrap and battle and really fight for every ball, then so be it. But I think we've got quality in the team that we can actually go and get the ball down and play as well. So see both sides of it, and it's our job as a coaching staff to drag that out of them, because we have got players who can play. But again, there's a bit of self-belief, lack of belief that we can't quite go and do it. But we've got players in the team that can handle a football.
You mentioned in the lead up to the game that you had selection dilemmas, if you like. You hoping to have more next week with the return of Louis Lang from suspension? Hopefully Stephen Pearson from injured. Can they too come back in, hopefully, and give you some more options in different areas of the park? Not
just those, but the guys that were on the bench today and those that were left out of the squad. They've got to grasp it, work hard in training during the week, and get in my thoughts to that. Look, I want to be in the team to play against Dundee at home next week, and that's all you can ask of players when they work tirelessly on the training ground to try and get a chance. Then I'll have selection problems. But sure, 1 or 2 players may come in from the treatment room as well, and that'll only make us stronger.
I asked you the same question in the earlier defeat last month. What message you got for the Motherwell fans who've come up here in great numbers today, for the length of time it is, great voice, They're worried, they're disappointed at how things are going. How can you inspire them? What can you tell them that you're hopefully going to give them?
And I'm fully with them, because I'm going home frustrated as well tonight, and I know that the sacrifices that they've made to come up here maybe on a Friday night after work and spend hard-earned money, and those that travelled up today, you know, to make sure that they're here to give the team the backing. And it was great backing. You know, the drum was beating, you could hear them singing and chanting, and you know, I'm desperate to give them something to smile about, and the players know that as well. The players realise what supporters do to support their team, and we're all hurting tonight. There's no doubt about that, and we'll just work our hardest to try and make sure that the fans that turn up for the home game next week, that we can send them home happy.
Finally, 3 big home games coming up, vital games. You'll be wanting to go into this hammer and tongs and impress on those players that back at Fir Park we need to use that as our advantage. Yeah,
the players are disappointed. They're disappointed that there was a chance there that they could have gone home with 3 points. And you know, the 3 home games. The home games are going to be vital for sure. Our home form has got to be nailed on. You know, you can't expect to keep coming away from home and having to try and score more than 2 goals to win a game of football. But you know, for me, the home games will be vital starting next week, and we've got to go out there with an air of confidence and a belief in our own abilities that we're going to be the team in the ascendancy.
Ian, commiserations.